120? 90? 114 officially, and then there's the city of St. Louis, which is also considered kind of a county. But in one part of the state, you'll have a pretty strong argument. There is one group that claims Missouri is made up of 113 counties and a kingdom. We'll tell the story of the kingdom in a minute.
Hi friends, Joe Haffner here. Are you interested in buying, selling, trading, or renting a house? Or maybe you're in the market for buying or selling a car? Or perhaps selling or giving away clothes, furniture, or electronics? Well, I can help you out. Just email me, joe@Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. That's Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com. Email me today with your item and or items, and together we'll come up with a creative way to buy, sell, trade, or rent any reasonable item or service that you want. Keep in mind, though, I don't deal with the exchange of firearms, alcohol items, drugs, or anything illegal or immoral. So send me an email today at Gunther'sHouseOfFriends@gmail.com.
Story of the kingdom in a minute. It is said State Representative John Sampson of Callaway County created the idea of the Kingdom of Callaway. Custom tells us he was kicked out of the legislature for his Southern loyalties after he suggested a resolution calling for secession. In 1862, we're told, when enrollment of loyal and disloyal men in the county was taking place, he plainly made it clear where he stood. I am from the Kingdom of Callaway, 6 feet 4.5 inches tall, and all South, by God. Callaway County was organized in 1820. It was named for Captain James Callaway of Warren County, a hard-headed officer who was told not to pursue some Indians into an ambush, but he did so anyway and was soon thereafter buried. It was, and in many ways still is, a strongly pro-Southern attitude. In the election of 1860, the county gave Abraham Lincoln only 15 votes of the 2,632 that were cast. As the Civil War neared, mass meetings were held in Fulton, the county seat. Pro-Southern resolutions were adopted during a winter of discontent in 1861 and 62. It became something of a Confederate stronghold early in the conflict, worrying Union leaders stationed in nearby counties. In the fall of 1861, the Pike County Militia under General John B. Henderson prepared to move into Callaway County to secure it for the North. Word got out, and Callaway County residents started acting. Colonel Jefferson Jones sent riders throughout the county to summon citizens to form a resisting force. Fulton publisher Ovid Bell noted several years ago that the federal forces hadn't really planned an invasion, but Jones's actions alarmed them, and when several hundred persons gathered in mid-October of 1861 at Brown Spring near the present village of McCready, Union officials asked Colonel T.J.C. Fagg to go to Callaway and try to put down an obvious effort aimed at rebellion. Jones sent the Union soldiers word proposing a deal. If the federal troops withdrew, he would disband his force, and the county would not ever again be invaded by federal troops. Bell says Jones and his men lived up to their part of the promise, and the Union forces did too for a while. But in December, 100 of Henderson's cavalry showed up at the Jones place, searched it, took his weapons, and left. Bell thought they might also have taken the documents setting up the compromise, if there actually were any. Some 1,200 Union soldiers marched into Fulton. In May of 1864, Jones, his wife, and 10 of his 16 children were taken to St. Louis and imprisoned for the rest of the war. He was released in July of 1865. He'd lost 113 pounds in prison. He could afford it. He weighed 265 when he was arrested. In later years, he would be in the legislature. In 1875, in fact, he introduced a resolution to have the governor give an amnesty to the James boys. General Henderson's fortunes were somewhat better. 3 months after the episode in Callaway, he was named to replace Truston Polk as a senator from Missouri after Polk was expelled for disloyalty. Later, he was one of 7 Republicans who voted against impeachment of Andrew Johnson. After his Senate career, he became a lawyer in St. Louis. Some people think Jones coined the phrase Kingdom of Callaway. Certainly his actions led to a founding of that status. In making an agreement that virtually severed the county's ties to those around it by making it the only one immune from federal intervention, he had in effect created an area outside of federal control, if you wish, a kingdom. Even today you'll meet Callawegians, as they sometimes call themselves, who tell you Callaway County seceded and never came back. In fact, if you drive through Callaway County on Interstate 70, you'll go through Kingdom City. Now, there might be other versions of the story, but this one goes back to the day that the Jones Agreement was signed, October 17, 1861.
Welcome back to Studio 26 on this Thursday morning. And still to come, I'll have Today in History, as well as the CBS World News Roundup, News of the Weird. No Twitter feed for today, unfortunately, but I will have for you what's on TV tonight and the Song of the Day. Right now, though, what do you say we take a look at celebrity birthdays for today? And found a new source for this list. May use it for a while, because it's more thorough, not just, here are 3 or 4 names, go with it, buddy.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter with you? Other people have birthdays. Why are we treating yours like a funeral?
Bones, I don't want to be lectured.
And before I run down the list of celebrity birthdays for today, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. And you share birthdays with these people. Singer Jim Seals of Seals & Croft is 71. Actor Michael McKean is 66. Actress Margot Kidder is 65. George Wendt, remember him, Norm from Cheers? He's also 65 today. Country singer Alan Jackson is 55. Actor Grant Shaw of Murphy Brown fame is 53. Animator Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead, well, he's 51. Comedian Norm Macdonald is 50. Singer Ziggy Marley is 45. Singer Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC is 42. Rapper Eminem is 41. Singer Wyclef Jean of the Fugees, or is it Fugees? Well, he's 41. And actress Sharon Leal of Boston Public is also 41 today. Okay, and that's celebrity birthdays for the 17th day of October 2013, which happens to be the 290th day of the year. 75 days left in this year. And what do you say we get ready for Today in History? So I have room for one passenger in the time machine, and I've chosen you, my friend, so please kindly step into the car. I'll turn on the time circuits, and away we go. And as we travel back in time, we stop off first, October 17th, in the year 1777. British forces under the command of General John Burgoyne surrendered to American troops in Saratoga. That's Saratoga, New York, and a turning point of the Revolutionary War. And now for more of Today in History, here's the Associated Press.
October 17th, 1973. Dawn of the energy crisis, as Arab oil-producing nations say they will cut back on oil exports to Western nations and Japan. The result? A total embargo until the following year, bringing severe oil shortages and rising inflation to the United States and other countries. 1777, a turning point in the Revolutionary War. British forces under General John Burgoyne surrender to American troops in Saratoga, New York. The victory persuades the French to side with the Americans against the British during the war. 1989, a deadly earthquake measuring 7.1 on the Richter scale strikes Northern California. The quake kills more than 60 people, leaving 12,000 homeless and causing $6 billion in damage. 1931. Mobster Al Capone is convicted of income tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Capone is released 8 years later. And 1915. Playwright Arthur Miller, author of Death of a Salesman and The Crucible, is born in New York City.
You go to theater because it's giving you news of some kind that applies to today. And it's a rare thing that can outlast its moment. It's very difficult.
Today in History, October 17th. Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
America's credit worthiness takes a hit in Asia, even with the debt ceiling raised and the government reopening.
Let Marketplace be your guide to the modern world. Subscribe to the Marketplace Tech Report podcast. Find it on iTunes or at marketplace.org/podcasts.
From 8 p.m. in New York, I'm David Brancaccio with the global perspective on business and economics. Furloughed federal workers are headed back to work starting today, and America will be able to pay its bills with borrowing authority extended through early February. But to quote investor Warren Buffett's line from yesterday, creditworthiness is like virginity, meaning it's tough to retrieve. The fight that'll be revisited next year has left investors wondering if U.S. debt is something that always, without fail, gets paid back no matter what. And while it doesn't have the stature of Moody's or Fitch, a credit ratings agency in China has downgraded the U.S., even with President Obama's signature on the budget deal last night. Marketplace's Rob Schmitz joins us from Shanghai. Morning, Rob.
Good morning, David.
So this Chinese credit agency downgrades the United States despite the fact that there was the big deal in Washington?
It's a vulnerable time right now for the U.S. economy, and China and its rating agencies are in attack mode. You know, before the Dagong downgrade, we saw a pretty vicious attack of America's role in the world in an editorial written in Xinhua, China's state news service, which declared an end to the age of Pax Americana. You know, it was only written in English and was meant for a foreign audience. So I think there's a bit of outbound propaganda going on here.
And we saw, in fact, this full-on pitch this week via Xinhua for making the Chinese currency the world's reserve currency, which would mean a lot of things, right, Rob? Like oil transactions around the world would be denominated in yuan?
Right. And of course, that is a dream world. The U.S. dollar will remain the reserve currency of the global economy for the time being. You know, third quarter figures showed that China now has nearly 3.7 trillion U.S. dollars in its foreign exchange reserves. And this figure represented the highest quarterly growth of Chinese investment in U.S. debt in 2 years. So while China's rating agency that few people have heard of, and some in Beijing are using this moment to go after the U.S. economy, China remains more committed than ever in investing in the U.S. economy, and it's certainly not putting its money where its mouth is in this instance.
Marketplace's Rob Schmitz in Shanghai. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Now let's do the numbers. The Hang Seng Stock Index in Hong Kong fell 0.6%. The DAX in Germany right now down 0.6%. The FT 100 in London down 0.2%. After the Dow rose 205 points, 1.33% yesterday, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are down now. A new study finds that offering a bonus to teachers works under certain conditions. Shannon Mullen has our story.
In Washington, D.C., $25,000 is half of what some public school teachers make in a year, but the most effective ones can earn that much as a bonus. It's a controversial system that can make teachers better, according to researchers at the University of Virginia and Stanford. Thomas Dee is co-author of the study.
Teachers have to know what they can do to earn those incentives, and they have to believe that it's within their control to meet the expectations.
The least effective teachers can lose their jobs, and too soon, say some critics. Others argue salaries should be tied to education and experience, not students' test scores. But the DC system also factors in teachers' classroom performance and collaboration. So it's a game changer, says Kate Walsh, president of the National Council on Teacher Quality.
DC has put all the right ingredients into the pot, and they backed it up with serious money.
But results may vary. The study warns DC system is not one size fits all. I'm Shannon Mullen for Marketplace.
Do you enjoy the music we play between stories? Visit the Marketplace music section to browse playlists for all of our programs and to buy those songs on Amazon. A percentage of each purchase goes towards supporting our programs. Find more online at marketplace.org/music.
Columbus Circle here in New York has just won the coveted title of Best Roundabout in the World 2013. The award is helping focus American minds on the benefits of this traffic management system, which seems typically British, from just outside the city of Birmingham, England. Marketplace's Stephen Beard has more.
I'm driving my car around and round a traffic island with Kevin Beresford.
This is the perfect way to see a roundabout. He's just driving round and round it. Can we go round again?
Kevin would be happy to do this all day. He's head of the UK Roundabout Appreciation Society.
They lift our spirits on long, tiresome journeys with their inventiveness, their creativeness.
Inventiveness, creativeness. Back in his apartment, Kevin explains the roundabout's infinite aesthetic possibilities.
You could put anything on a roundabout, and I've seen fountains, statues, windmills, trains, boats, planes, you name it, and that's what makes them so special.
For more practical reasons,